I was doing so well.
Yeah.
I was doing so well. I was
Almost
so
had it.
proud. I put myself over in the comments and I frigged it all up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever it may be, whenever you are tuning in. There's never a bad time for brunch. So thank you for being here. If you're tuned in live, like Fernando, I saw that you are in there, my friend. Happy Mother's Day to you and yours as well, too. But thank you for being here. Let us know in the comments. We got a lot to talk about. Some good, some unfortunately sad news coming out earlier today as well, too, but lots to go over here over the next hour. Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. Friends, Lawrence.
Yo.
2 weeks in a row I've been here. 2 weeks in a row I've had the pleasure of seeing your lovely face. How you doing? You were with your mother earlier today, correct?
Yeah,
did you
we
do
did.
a shoot Mother's Day brunch? Are you working brunch and shooting brunch?
Working and shooting, brother. Working and shooting. We had like a small brunch. Today my brother brought food and I brought donuts from like the fancy donut place near my house.
Okay.
They are massive donuts. They are heavy as all hell.
These are those like $20 donuts for one sort of thing. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of places like that here in Edmonton, and by no means am I complaining about the quality, but like I'm starting to realize inflation is real. I feel like an old man. You know what I mean? Donuts used to be 75 cents. Damn it. Timothy, good evening, I suppose, for you. Thank you for tuning in from the United Kingdom. I am going to see my mother a little bit later on today, of course, after the stream, obviously. I've got to go for a run. I've been doing the backyard over the last couple of days. My dog met a puppy for the first time. Old Spence has been productive, but I did, of course, Lawrence, take a break last night to watch WWE Backlash.
Yep. Backlash.
JPJ, good morning, Backlash. Timothy, we're going to talk about it a little bit later on here. But unfortunately, PW Insider, excuse me. Yeah. I know, dude. Reporting earlier today that SABU had passed away. So we'll chat about that a little bit later on here. Rue, you're okay. Thank you. I'm doing an internet thing right now. Thank you. Rue, go to your crate, please. Come on, dude. This isn't fair. Sorry, everyone. But yeah, rest in peace to SABU. We're going to chat about that a little bit later on here. But Backlash last night, I sort of want to get this out of the way because it's always awkward to transition out of that sort of stuff. So we'll probably just chat some SABU here later on to close the show out. But yeah, last night's show, 50-50. At best for me. I guess 5 matches, so I'd have to, have a little bit better math there. But I don't know, man. I thought the show started off really, really strong. I thought that 4-way was absolutely fantastic. Lyra and Becky, unsurprisingly, great as well. But ended on a whimper rather than a celebration, in my sort of opinion. I wasn't a big fan of last night's main event. I personally, I get what they were going for. I wasn't a huge fan of Gunther and McAfee either, but your thoughts off the bat. What did you think of Backlash? How many bags of popcorn would you give her? Because there's not enough rating systems in wrestling.
Probably like 2.5 or 3. Like it was an inoffensive pay-per-view, I would say. Like there was nothing special about it. I felt like actually like the first 2 matches were great. WWE's gotten really great at booking those 4-ways and multi-man matches. Like they are like almost always a lot of fun, and everyone gets a chance to highlight. Like LA Knight off the opening that match, just coming out like gangbusters and able to show why he was United States champion for so long, or not for so long, but like why they made him United States champion, and like why
2 times.
It's 2 times, and why like he's also a viable challenger, and everyone got like they continued the story with Jamie and Drew perfectly. Like,
well, maybe not necessarily perfectly.
Yeah.
Here's to hoping, of course, Drew McIntyre's okay. Like that looked rough coming off of that south of heaven through the tables. That looked rough. Like immediately grabs his head. Can't remember. I'm apparently I should cite my sources here better, but somebody was saying that he was getting checked out immediately after the match. So here's to hoping Drew McIntyre's okay, because it's an unsurprising sentence for us to be saying at this point, but the dude's on the run of his career, and I think we've been able to say that for like the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
But I thought that was killer. Everybody came out looking fantastic. I'm expecting that we're going to get like a Hell in a Cell or something like that here between Drew and Damian and in the near future. Maybe you get that at Money in the Bank. I'm not certain if you can extend that out to SummerSlam, because it has been a long time that they've sort of been hooked at the leg.
Yeah, but there's also like a lot of shows in like a small period of time coming up. Like this summer is a jam-packed summer, like because they are announcing like they've got Saturday's main event, they've got the Saudi Arabia show coming up.
Oh yeah, that's like June 6th or something like that.
Yeah, the Night of Champions.
They're doing. Oh, I was gonna say it's not King and Queen of the Ring this year.
No.
It is. Night of Champions. Every title on the line, and I bet you it's main evented by that silly little green belt. Huzzah. Yeah, Fernando, we're going to talk about Sabu here a little bit later on. And Timothy, shout out to Wheezy. She will be on Quizplex, which is returning here at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to spoil too much because that's Zach's baby. He can get what he wants. But of course, Wheezy Blonde, our champion right now. Fernando, I'll disagree on that, to be honest with you. But we'll chat about that in a minute. That 4-way was fantastic. Unsurprisingly, I was watching last night's show with someone who's not necessarily like a huge wrestling fan, come out to shows and stuff like that, but they were in love with Jacob Fatu, unshockingly. Know. Stop me for a second as I allow you guys all to recover your breath on that one. But Fatu rules. Absolutely rules. Looked like an absolute monster in this match. Again, everybody did. That's the cool thing, man.
Yeah.
Nobody looks any worse for wear. Well, at least as far as going forward goes, but nobody looks any worse. Everybody elevated there. I thought that was a fantastic opener. Fatu, your United States champion, and Jeff Cobb making their WWE debut. I really liked this. I really, really liked this. I do hope, to be honest with you, though, that this is like, I don't know. It feels odd to me that you'd insert someone else here when we're still building the story of Solo and Jacob. I know that they sort of teased the tension there with Cobb and Fatu, but like, I don't know. I feel like they've sort of levied off the bloodline for the last little bit, especially with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa being out. And like, I don't know. I'm always excited. I've said this before. The bloodline always manages to draw me back in somehow, but I'm excited to see where they go with Fatu and Jeff Cobb, because Cobb absolutely rules, man.
Yeah. Like, if you haven't seen his work in New Japan, go check it out, because the dude's a absolute, like, super athletic big dude who, like, definitely when I started watching New Japan, like, a few years ago, like, somebody that drew my attention immediately. And, like, I'm excited to see him, like, his debut right away. Like, doing that crossbody into the ring post was crazy.
Yeah, nuts. Just a side note here, I was sipping my coffee, which non-sponsored here, but like, look at how awkwardly large this is.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird. Anyways, sorry to get off track there. The dude's a monster. He came out here. It would have been about 2015 or 16. was the first time I got to watch him. He just ended up coming out and wrestling here for the PWA. So I've followed his career for quite a long time. The dude is obviously a monster, but like you said, super athletic. Him and Fatu, I think, I'm not sure if they've ever faced off in a singles before, but that is going to be a real fun match when it eventually happens. You just wonder if they're going to build towards where I was going is like, I don't know if they're going to build towards sort of Fatu and Jeff Cobb first, or if you're going to get Solo out of the way and sort of build to Jeff Cobb in the future. If Fatu's looking wary of somebody, that's got some weight in WWE. So I do too, Fernando. I think that it's inevitable that the guy's going to be turning babyface. I've said since WrestleMania that it's going to be Fatu versus Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam for the U.S. Championship. I stand by that. I think it's perfect timing, and people want to cheer Fatu, man. It's a lot like one of the matches we're going to talk about here coming up. It's like everybody wants to cheer Dominic Mysterio, but before we do that, let's keep going in order here, brother. You can kick her off here. I really enjoyed Becky and Lyra Valkyria. This was one that felt like a fight more than a match in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was captivated from start to finish, and it goes off what we said last week with everyone that like unfairly calls Becky Lynch Becky Hogan for like these two or three, and they get like, would you look at that? She helped put over a talent.
People are out here doubting Becky Lynch in the year of our Lord 2025.
And
give your head a shake, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They help further, it also furthered their feud going forward. The intensity's ratcheting up. They're telling a great story and having great matches. This was the perfect pairing at the end of the day. Yeah.
I agree, man. I'm very excited. I do think we're going to see Bayley back here sooner rather than later. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be Becky winning and Bayley gets involved. I don't know if we're going to build to sort of a three-way dance here sort of situation, but this has been excellent. And Fernando, I don't disagree with you. And thank you for continuing to hop in the comments. If you haven't hopped in, let us know you're here. Throw us a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. But I really don't disagree with you. And it's not from a lack of quality. We've said this before here, Lawrence. I even think we said it last week. But it's never been for a lack of quality matches on Lyra Valkyria's end. When you even speak for the U.S. Championship in some ways with Chelsea Green, there hadn't really been a story to sink your teeth into. And over 3 weeks, a month, maybe, this has completely turned on its head. This is the feud that I think Lyra Valkyria needed. And Becky Lynch is just excellent. Let's get real here. Even these people coming out with their Becky Hogan BS and all of that. Yeah. Excuse me as I smack my freaking computer desk here. Even with this Becky Hogan stuff, come on, man. Becky Lynch, it's inevitable, in my opinion, and should be inevitable that she's going to win the IC title. And why? Because she's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. She's a marketable star. She's a great professional wrestler. Every box checked. Why not? Because what's going to happen is, like you say, she's going to go out and put over even a Bayley, who I firmly disagree with Jonathan Coachman on, but Bayley winning the IC title would do so much for her at this point. She, again, has needed a bit of a story to sink her teeth into after everything with Damage Control, right?
Yeah.
So I'm real excited to see where the women's IC championship is going in the future. Match ruled. I don't know. I think you've got to get Bayley back here sooner rather than later to add another extra layer. But that's just personal opinion. Yeah, Timothy. It's always nice for me. I love when people get to discover new professional wrestlers. I think you're really going to enjoy Jeff Cobb. But yeah, and speaking of IC championships that we want to see continue going forward, Dominic Mysterio. Now, I think everybody has noticed how much people love him lately, as dumb as that sounds to say, but this was a match, and yes, going up against a great opponent in Penta, but Dom ain't a slouch, man. That was a really great match. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Penta continues to come out and deliver. That guy is I hate the comparisons, but how long have we looked at a lot of people come in and, the next Rey Mysterio, the next big luchador for WWE, and through no fault of their own for the most part, not come in and sort of reach those heights. Penta has only been here for the better part of 4 months because it was after the Rumble, correct?
Yeah.
No, it was January 6th Raw. Never mind. So just before the Rumble, my apologies. Oh, yeah. Excellent spot in the Rumble. Dodoy Spence. But Penta's come out and killed it for the last 4 months. already getting premier spots, delivering in them. I really love this match. I don't even think it's surprising at this point anymore that Dom Mysterio is just great at what he did. I really agree. Personally speaking, like, I do hope that this El Grande Americano ends sooner rather than later. And that's even just personally. It's not as though Chad Gable allegedly hasn't come out and absolutely killed it in the role that he's there to play. Don't get me wrong. But I just personally prefer Chad Gable going out there as an absolute just killer in the ring. You know, the match against Rey Fenix at Mania, it was good. I got no complaints with the match itself, but I just want to get out there and see some, for lack of a better some comparison, like some peak Chad Gable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if that's my one complaint with this, that's okay. Penta gets an excuse to, you know, re-challenge for the championship. We're building, I would assume, towards a 3-way as well at Money in the Bank and sort of go from there. But yeah, match was a blast.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Like, I think Dom, especially Dom, if you watch the post show, is still very much playing it heel, like on the mic, and just like, people have backed me now. Like, his character hasn't changed much.
No, but that's the best kind of professional wrestler.
The fact he's literally calling himself, like, immediately after winning the title, the best Intercontinental Champion of all time, saying it to Big E's face every time, right next to him, like on the post show panels, like reminding him that he's won the Intercontinental title and he's already better than him. And like, the crowd has gotten behind him, and like it seems like the turn there's very much slow playing this turn with Finn, which you all know it's coming, because like Finn's playing it well too, because he, like, when he's behind him, is glaring at him at times, and like clearly wants the title for himself. So like, we've got that slow burn there, and like when it happens, that the cheers and the pop for Dom is going to be huge. Like that's
why I think that's why they're still trying to slow play it a little bit on him going fully to the light side of the force, so to speak. Yeah. I'm very excited for when it happens. It's the same sort of thing as we talked about earlier with Fatu. People just want to cheer him. And for very different reasons, they're both going out there and absolutely killing it. Dominic Mysterio. And I don't think, in the kindest of ways to him, I don't think if anybody told me 3-4 years ago, or when he was first coming in, that people would be this ready to love Dominic Mysterio, I don't know if I would have believed you. But hot damn, is that a time I would have been real happy to be wrong, because the dude absolutely rules. I'm excited. I hope that he holds this title for a while. I hope that this isn't something where Penta does win it in a 3-way or something like that. I would love to see the actual feud with Finn and Dominic be over the Intercontinental Championship. I don't want it to just be about the Judgment Day. I do think that they're leading this way, don't get me wrong, but I don't want it to just be over the Judgment Day and everything that's happened there. Like, put the title on the line. I don't want it to be a situation where Dominic doesn't lose it in the right way. As silly as that sounds to say, I don't want Penta. Like, Penta deserves to win that title in a good old-fashioned wrestling match. I don't want any of this chicanery with a 3-way, the champion didn't get pinned, stuff like that. Don't want it.
Yeah, like I also like I feel like they're potentially breaking Penta away. Like, if it's not going to be a 3-way, I think he's going to feud with Chad Gable, aka El Grande Americano. Yeah, I think they could possibly be breaking those two away as they like inch towards the Finn Dom feud. Coming, like, I feel that's probably going to happen at SummerSlam. That Finn Dom match. That's why they're slow playing it a little bit for me. I think that's very much a SummerSlam match.
I hope so. I was also interested there. I think it was on SmackDown. I'm very interested to see where they go with this AJ Styles and Finn Balor gimmick going forward as well too. You know, I don't think there's like any sort of need to do like the full Bullet Club or the club or anything like that. And but I do think it'd be really cool to see them potentially have a bit of a tag team run as well too. Like, could you imagine those guys going up against the Lucha Bros as part of all of this? That'd be incredible, right?
Yeah.
There's so many good pieces to the tag team division. I really hope that stuff steps up. It's very, very odd to me that, like, and, you know, we'll talk about it here sooner rather than later, but like, yeah, I understand getting a 5-match card together and keeping it tighter, and it does make the pay-per-views, in my opinion, feel more important, and it does give you bigger matches on Raw and SmackDown. But like, for the life of me, I don't understand how you don't have a tag team championship match on this show. I don't understand how you only have one women's match on this show. You know, again, I understand somewhat why they do it, but you do that, and then you get this again. In my opinion, I didn't enjoy Gunther and Pat McAfee. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I hated the show of respect after it. I hate that so much. Unless you're turning Gunther babyface, excuse me, but like, why?
Yeah, like it makes even less sense why he jumped. Like, if you're gonna have him like as a dude that is filled with rage after being knocked off the top spot, keep him there. Like,
despite all his rage, though,
he's still just a rat in a cage.
Gunther to the NWA confirmed? No,
yeah. Although Natty's there.
Here's the other stuff I don't understand. Like, even in just the context of the match, like Gunther, 14 seconds. I'm playing with the numbers here a little bit, but 14 seconds before he offers these guys a show of respect, he's ready to friggin' powerbomb Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Like, what? The only logic I've got for this is that they know that Gunther's going to be the one getting cheered when he feuds with Bill Goldberg.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting scared now that it's going to be. I was going to say, I bet you that Night of Champions.
Yeah.
We're going to get Gunther versus Goldberg. That being said, though, has the potential to be just a fun little disaster.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to be a long match.
And no, it's not. It's not going to be a long match, but give credit where it's due. You know, a lot of the Goldberg matches haven't gone all that well, but the last one did have Bobby Lashley choking out his son. So maybe we get some sort of level of chaos where Gage Goldberg hops in there and just takes a wicked old Gunther chop. It's nothing against Gage Goldberg. It's just, I don't really want Bill Goldberg. And so if there's a way that Gunther would make me happy, it's taking out some aggression everywhere he possibly can. It's going to happen, dude. It's going to happen.
I honestly want to know what, like, Bill Goldberg decide what do they have planned for Gunther for the rest of the year. Cause like, he's definitely a person that's in a tough spot. Cause it's like the dude is heavyweight title. And like, he should be in the heavyweight title picture, like, consistently. And it's hard to drop him off to like the mid card again. Or like he's in like a weird zone right now where like, I don't know where he goes from here.
What brand is the U.S. championship on? Is that something he could do?
SmackDown.
Who's the U.S. champion right now? Who is the United States champion in WWE? Thank you, guys. So it told me what it is. C'est la vie.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg, it's gonna suck, Timothy. I'm personally not a fan. Who is the United States? Why is this so hard?
Jacob Fatu.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, now
I remember.
we're gonna cut all of this out.
Yeah.
Gunther and Fatu. There we go.
Yeah.
Memory's not exactly my strong suit sometimes.
That would be honestly a great match. That'd be
personally speaking, I'd much rather have that than going through announcers and then going through Goldberg.
Yeah.
But I don't really know if you can go to Gunther and Fatu until the Solo Sikoa storyline's wrapped up.
Yeah.
And the Bloodline 4.0? Which version of Bloodline are we on now? 4?
I think this is now the artist formerly known as Bloodline.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're just known
as... This is like when Guns N' Roses had like Dizzy Reed or DJ Ashba playing guitar.
This has a very much Sublime with Rome feel.
Hey, Sublime with Rome. They headlined one of the first music festivals I went into. Shout out here to Boonstock in Gibbons, Alberta.
No, I also saw Sublime. Like, this friend of mine, she was like really into Sublime. We went together to see Sublime with Rome like years ago.
Bradley Noel's kids playing for them now.
They're
supposed to be fantastic, which makes even just me feel old. I know that album came out in 91, but like, what? So yeah, let's get back to Gunther and Pat McAfee. I also, just in my personal opinion, and it's funny that both of the major promotions here now are doing like announcer storylines with everything. I thought this match should have been way shorter.
Yeah.
Like way shorter. And that's nothing against Pat McAfee. Like even in his couple of matches he's had prior to this with bum ass Baron Corbin, as he called him, and don't not my words. I love me some Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
But with Baron Corbin and then Adam Cole prior to that, like I don't know. I think that AEW has actually done a really great job here of making it like a real issue when an announcer and a true announcer gets attacked.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what they're going to do here with Nigel McGuinness, but like even looking at the differences there, Pat's a great athlete, but he's wrestled 3 matches versus like Nigel McGuinness was a former champion across pretty well every promotion he worked for. And I still think that Nigel and FTR or Nigel versus Dax or however they break this down, that should be quick. Yeah. Announcers aren't supposed to be strong. Like I'm a ring announcer, but look at me. I should get my ass kicked in a wrestling ring. I don't know. I just feel like this should have been shorter, especially considering like how dominant you've been presenting Gunther over the past, career.
Yeah, like I agree. Like we said it last week. Like I thought this was going to be Gunther was going to stub him out. Like he was going to show like a little strength against Gunther, but like it should have been Gunther just beating the hell out of him. Yeah, like the story is him trying to defend Michael Cole at all costs. But like Gunther's a former heavyweight champion. Like Pat McAfee's not going to win the heavyweight title. So there's no point in making him look like he can beat the heavyweight champion.
No, I've never really enjoyed it. Again, and this ain't critiquing the athleticism. Like Pat McAfee, I've enjoyed as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, even with the warts, obviously, heavy warts sometimes. Like the guy's a great wrestler, but I just feel that like going 30 minutes against Roman Reigns or whatever last night would have been against Gunther in McAfee's case, not to my personal taste in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, speaking of not to my personal taste, for the last time ever, John Cena and Randy Orton. I don't know if it's just the fact that like I don't know the best way to put it. Like all this was for me was like an RKO fest, and other than that, there wasn't much to this for me. There really wasn't. Yeah. John Cena went out. He won this match in the exact same way that he did against Cody Rhodes for the most part. Hit him with the belt, low blow, all of that sort of stuff. And the best way that I can put this is like, if this was how John Cena's heel run was going to go, I'd much rather just the dude be a babyface, play the greatest hits, and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I finally loved John Cena. It just this was not to my taste, and I don't know if it's just different or I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, it feels like the
same thing we saw last month in some ways. Yeah. I think
like it feels like they're doing the similar thing that they did with a lot of the Roman title run, which is like copy paste the same finish over and over again. Just like Roman had at least a few months in between every title defense, whereas like John is pretty much going to be at every major pay-per-view going forward till the end of the year. So like every time that title, you're going to see that title, you're going to see the same, I feel the same sort of things that happen the next one. He's going to low blow hit him with the title. And like, I feel like it's going to be copy paste till the like eventually loses it, or like that last title defense he's going to have, his last appearance. Like it sucks, like, because it feels very predictable. And like, I know the gimmick is supposed to be he's ring wrestling, but it's also supposed to be an enjoyable product at the end of the day. And like, they did do fun stuff in the match. Like there's stuff I did enjoy, like, and I guess they are legitimately building to Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis after him arguing all the officials.
They could be building towards Randy Orton versus Jamie Noble.
Yep, J&J Security. The story's already there, baby.
There we go. If there's one thing that we needed, it was bringing back the authority.
Yep.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I spoke it into existence. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't for me. And the thing is, too, like you say, I know that part of that is because of what John Cena is trying to do and ruining wrestling, like you say, and not having a lot of pomp and circumstance. And I understand all of that. But like you said, for me, you do need to still have that like entertainment value for it. And I think the real entertainment for this came from like RKO getting hit a million times, which is always fun. I'll always smile at an RKO being hit. Don't get me wrong there. But I don't know. Wasn't to my personal taste for this main event. Not that you ever need everything to be this fast-paced, high-energy thing, but I just felt like even in the slower-paced matches and stuff, there needs to be that like second or third gear, and I just don't think that this ever hit that second or third gear even.
Yeah. And
so
I honestly think John Cena, although not like blatantly, but like he is very much running this heel character with comedy bits. Like he's writing it like he's writing a like thinking of like a different set piece for a comedy. Because like what he's doing with the press conference every time now, how he's every single time finding a new way to avoid answering questions.
Did you see how he avoided answering questions at this one, Lawrence?
I did, but
I was kind of thrilled.
Yeah.
I was kind of thrilled. R-Truth getting involved. Don't like that either. And I love me some R-Truth. But like, I understand it's your childhood hero. Why?
Yeah. Like I guess since it's his last time, they're finally paying off the long held debt, which is like hopefully once they have a match or something, which looks like I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Saturday night's main event match or something with R-Truth.
You know what you should do here? Here's my pitch.
Yeah.
Copyright 2025. I own this intellectual property now. I think what you need to do is you need to have John Cena versus R-Truth, like you say, Saturday night's main event. Maybe you do it at Night of Champions, somewhere. You need to do this because what should happen is John Cena should be wrestling R-Truth in a tables match. And at the conclusion of this match, while John Cena is laying there in more pain than he's ever been in, well, CM Punk walks out to the stage and he crosses his legs on the stage and we get like a literal reenactment, obviously content of the promo notwithstanding. Yeah. CM Punk goes full pipe bomb, leading towards Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam. Because I think we need to go full Summer of Cena with this. Yeah.
And which people feel he was teasing on Instagram because there was the picture of his album with ice cream on top. Somebody threw ice cream on it. So people think it's starting to tease a CM Punk John Cena match.
I would hope so. That is one of the other matches that I feel is like a necessity on the Cena run. I really, really do. But I don't have a job there, so my personal feelings are moot.
The promos are going to be very good leading into it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'll be honest with you. Like, even in the Cena and Cody run up, I didn't think at least Cena's end of it felt like Cena was holding back a little. Yeah. Cody delivered some great promos.
Yeah, and like also they're in the weird spot because I don't even feel if they fully knew what was going on with The Rock. And like everyone was expecting everyone was expecting The Rock to be used at some point, and The Rock's like, "What do you mean you're expecting me?" No, I should I thought it was quite explicit. You know how I never kept it wildly open-ended. It took away from that build too, because everyone and the build and the match that everyone was at least now we know that The Rock not showing up for the rest of the year, probably for the rest of this run, and he has nothing to do with it. But
we've got to get thrice in a lifetime.
Yeah,
we have to get thrice in a lifetime. I don't make the rules, Lawrence.
Yeah,
I really don't make the rules. Thrice in a lifetime. Hi, Sandy. Tight spot. Good to see you. Timothy, I don't know if he's scheduled for SummerSlam. I would have to assume he is.
Yeah.
John Cena's last SummerSlam. Everywhere he's going right now is the John Cena's last. So, of course, they're going to do a John Cena's last SummerSlam. I think him and Punk is the move. and I'd have no issues. Like, I do still think that you're going to need to have some sort of Cena like redemption tour to close this out. I don't know if John Cena would ever retire in this sort of role, and I at least personally would hope he doesn't. But I think Punk Cena at SummerSlam, finally putting the WWE Championship back on CM Punk. You know, it's been 3 years. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
3 years, I should say, as of this upcoming Survivor Series. Enjoy, Sandy. Backlash is good. I hope we didn't spoil anything for you. If we did, we apologize, but tune into the recap show. I would have to assume that Cena's at SummerSlam. I don't see any reason that he wouldn't be.
No.
Knock on wood. But, yeah. It'd be pretty easy, and maybe that can be our topic here for brunch next week, is a way too early SummerSlam card. Because, like you said, we do have a lot coming up here. Jey Uso defends the WWE Championship against Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event. The one thing that I'm somewhat encouraged for on that end of things is I'm very excited to get Jesse Ventura's opinion on Logan Paul. I'm very excited to hear.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear what he has to say about that stooge.
It is wild to me that a true fact about America is him and Tim Walz had the same job. Those two guys. What?
They could be cousins. Man,
Yeah,
they could be cousins for sure.
But like peak America, is you put those two dudes next to each other. It's like, yes, they were both hired to do the same thing by the American people.
So are Schwarzenegger and Reagan.
Yeah. Just true fact about
Odd
America.
place.
Yeah.
Odd place. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
We're certainly not apolitical here at Love Wrestling, but we try and avoid them. This is professional wrestling. There's enough of that stuff. And there's enough politics in wrestling. Yeah, but like I was saying, I think you do need to do like a bit of a Cena redemption, even just for the fact that, like, man, people want to cheer John Cena. I don't have another way to put it. We finally love the man. But yeah, that's Backlash. Coming up, like we said, is Money in the Bank. I'm not sure on the date for Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. I think we're only a few weeks out, if I remember correctly. We ain't far off. But is it after? Yeah, it would have to be after King and, or I keep going to do that. I'm sorry. It has to be after Night of Champions. C'est la vie. Though I do believe it's in Los Angeles, California. Who do you think's winning Money in the Bank this year? June 7th. Thanks, Tight Spot. I appreciate it. And Timothy, thank you for sticking around. I know you're probably about 7 hours ahead of us, and if you're in the UK, at least speaking for me. So thank you for sticking around late. We appreciate it. If you're here right now, before I get Lawrence's thoughts on Money in the Bank, and yes, I am trying to buy you some time, but if you guys are here, let us know. Throw us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to. We've got a lot of great stuff coming out here over the next few weeks. All of our matches from our last couple of events on April 24th, 25th are coming this way, and we're going to have LPW's remaining Calgary matches heading over this way sooner rather than later. Yeah, you're completely right there, Ophelia. I did hear rumors as well on Cena's end that they're going to be doing it in Boston, and I hope so. I do think it'd be cool to have him have his last match in Boston. But thank you. It's always awkward to Google while I'm on air, so I appreciate you doing it for us there, Tight Spot. But yeah, I would think so. Lawrence, I've bought you enough time.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with Fernando. I think Naomi wins the women's Money in the Bank. And like especially if Jade or Bianca Belair win the title coming up, like I would not be surprised if she cashes in on one of them. Especially if like they just win it and then she cashes in on them. Like
I wouldn't be shocked. I especially think for Jade, I still do think that Bianca, whether it's like, I don't know how you get there, but I do still think that Bianca is prone to a quick little turn here sooner rather than later. So I don't know if Naomi would if Bianca was the champion, just for the fact that I don't see Naomi changing her ways anytime soon, and I think her cashing in on Jade immediately would be fantastic. It has been really, really nice to see. I thought their match at Mania was I always hate saying this way, but like it was surprisingly entertaining. I really, really enjoyed it. The storyline going into it was fantastic. I did expect it to be like a quick, shorter match, just given how Jade's usually worked her matches, and I quite enjoyed it. So to level that up, to take it to sort of the next step with Naomi cashing in, or yeah. But I do think Jade's going to win that championship from Tiffany. I think that's going to be the play.
Yeah. Like, and for the men, like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, Rusev would be an interesting win, Fernando. Like, but like, I could also, people brought up like CM Punk potentially winning the thing, in
that would be the first 3-time, I guess. Hey,
yeah, and like either like calling his shot with, if he's on another show, it'd be an easier way for him to call his shot potentially early against Cena and say like, oh, or like Cena backs out of the match, like will not accept the match with CM Punk, and it's the only way to guarantee the match is him winning the Money in the Bank. Be like, we're gonna do this at SummerSlam, sort of like RVD did at One Night Stand against Cena.
I wouldn't hate that at all. There you go, Lawrence. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Fernando, I think Rusev would be cool. I've always loved me Rusev. There are very few wrestlers who I have more than one shirt of, to be honest. Spread the wealth, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think I've got 3 Rusev Day shirts. That was one of my favorite things of all time. You've got a Cactus Jack on right now?
Yeah.
I went with an instructional shirt on how to DDT, as brought to you by Jake the Snake Roberts for this one. Because immediately after this, I literally am already in my running gear. I am going to go for a quick little run. I am trying to.
Look at you.
I'm trying to get better, and I hate it. My legs hurt right now. Like I went running yesterday, and my legs hurt as we speak. But yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of really, really great contenders. I think there are a lot of people who could use it to really elevate themselves. A guy that I would really love to see win it would be Montez Ford.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he's a guy that, not that the Street Profits aren't excellent, but there have been a lot of opportunities, I think, to really elevate Montez himself. Angelo Dawkins even too. By no means is that shade. Like that dude, if you see the effort that he's putting in at Dungeon 2.0 and the just sheer improvement, man, like that dude rules too. And not necessarily splitting up, but I think those guys moving into the more singles roles, the same sort of way that like when Montez was in Elimination Chamber there a couple of years ago, he had that fantastic little singles run in the lead up to it. I'd love to see a Montez Ford. I don't know if he would win it. I think Gunther being in the match would be excellent. I don't think Jimmy Uso. I was going to actually say Jey Uso could win Money in the Bank. I don't know if he's going to retain the championship. I don't know if it's going to be, obviously they've got champion versus champion at Night of Champions for the Saudi Arabian Championship. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Say that sentence 5 times fast. I guess they are technically only the Crown Jewel Championships. So maybe they'll just get defended in Australia. And they won't do them at Night of Champions. But then why would you do a champion versus champion? Night of Champions just means every championship's on the line. That word has lost all meaning. Somebody else talk. Jey Uso, I think, could win it. But I'm gonna stick with Montez Ford just for some fun on my end of things. On the women's side, I think Naomi's a great shout. I do think Chelsea Green could be a great shout. I also wouldn't mind Bayley winning the Money in the Bank and maybe that being a comeback. But I don't know. It's wide open, and that's been the nice thing. Even with the Rumble this year, there were a lot of potential winners. And I think in the best of ways, WWE is more unpredictable than ever. Another cool shout on my end of things, Braun Breaker.
Yeah. That like
a little bit of tension there with him and Seth. Initially under the guise of him winning it so that nobody cashes in on Seth, and then they poke and poke and poke, leading to a WrestleMania match. There we go.
Yeah.
I might have just worked myself into that one.
That's a great shout. Like I think that it's obviously like that group is built for Braun Baker to eventually go over Seth. Like he has like definitely been anointed the next one up.
Yep. And I would have no issues on my end of things with Seth being the first 2-time heavyweight champion, at least in this iteration of the title, right?
Yeah.
Because it's only been like it's gone Seth to Drew, Drew to Damian Priest to Gunther, and now Jey Uso. So I think it's about time. And again, I don't mean this in a bad way. Like Jey Uso is, in my opinion, conclusively proven that guy deserves to be on top. I don't think I'm breaking any news there, but like, I don't think there's an issue with having a shorter run with championships. I don't think it's not all about length. It's how you use them.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, like, yeah. Only in this context.
Yeah, like Jey Uso, again, if he has a shorter run, cashes in a Money in the Bank at some point, he'd be a cool winner. Braun Breaker would be a cool winner. Rip, I know you agree, don't you? Hi. Don't go around this way, okay? Don't go around this way. Thank you for the kisses, but you can't. There's literally not the room. I was making a good point. You got me distracted. Boop, boop, boop. Thanks, dude. But yeah, a shorter run. Like, it's not as though, in my opinion, this is going to be Jey Uso's only run on top. For me, there's absolutely no way. So having a shorter run, I'm fine with that. Seth Rollins winning it, fine with that. Braun Breaker winning the Money in the Bank and eventually going in to cash in on Seth. Love that. Why not?
Yeah. Like,
you know how cool it would be, rather than like Seth Rollins having Braun Breaker run down the ramp, is at the end of WrestleMania, while Braun Breaker is ringside with him and Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker just cashing in right then and there. No one would suspect it. Thank you, Fernando. I appreciate that. Rip is a pretty adorable dog. Lots of ways you can go with it. Lots of ways to, as they say in wrestling, skin the proverbial cat. You know? But that was Backlash. If anybody else has any topics of conversation, why did I say that way? Over the last couple of minutes here, feel free to throw them in the chat. Of course, professional wrestling is excellent. I know there's a lot of great stuff coming out of Collision. I think that Tony Storm, unsurprisingly, are you sitting down, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Tony Storm rules.
What?
I know, right?
Tony Storm?
So I'm playing catch up on Collision this evening. Last night, obviously, Backlash and then the Oilers. Dude, did you see the Oilers game last night? I'm just going to bitch for a sec. What? Here's my complaint. Did you see the result of the Oilers game last night?
Wait, my mom was telling me about it because her husband watched the game. I did not watch the game. I fell asleep. They lost with like 0.6 seconds.
0.4 seconds left.
0.4
it was a really, really excellent game. You can't really complain about it. And kudos to the Knights on winning that one. But man, that was a heartbreaker. Because like, it wasn't even, I hate the phrase fluky, but like the winning goal, it ended up basically bouncing off of Leon Draisaitl's stick. And what are you going to do? Be mad at Leon Draisaitl? Like, no, can't do that. So yeah, that one was tough. Skinner ended up starting because Picard, I guess, is day-to-day with an injury. I guess he got that little bump there at the end of the game on Thursday, it would have been. And so, yeah, day-to-day. So he's out for a bit. Well, maybe not a bit. But I don't think that was on Skinner. Like, you lose with 0.4 seconds left. Like, everybody thought it was going to overtime. Even when the goal went in, like, only one person on the ice really reacted. It was that instantaneous.
Yeah.
Say Levy, Oilers in 5. There's my small complaint for the day. In other news, and like for me, man, it's a tough subject, especially considering, but like PW Insider, as we sort of said there off the start, credit to them for being the first to report SABU has passed away at the age of 60. I got to admit, I didn't grow up as a professional wrestling fan. A lot of my experience with SABU came from just watching back a lot of old ECW. Everything with Rob Van Dam is like a personal favorite as far as what I've gone back and watched, but so many tributes coming out from people today, and especially people who rightfully saying that Sabu in the 90s was like, he's just instrumental to what this industry is today, right? So it's especially tough considering 3 weeks ago he had his final match. Everybody rightfully, again, giving him his flowers while they were in Vegas for WrestleMania week. That match against Joey Janela. What else can you say? Classic Sabu. Yeah, just a very, very tough one to lose a legend of the industry today.
Yeah, I discovered ECW later on, because I only started watching wrestling when I was 10 or 11. Yeah. And it was like already after, like just as ECW was closing, and they're literally what got me into what initially got me into it. Interesting, like what learned was and learning about it was the Alliance, and has seen the ECW wrestlers come in, some of them come in, but like learning about who was in ECW. Then the ECW documentary that WWE produced, like that had me like, I was chasing down a copy of that everywhere, like any video store I could, till I finally found it at like a Blockbuster. And like I like bought it and watched it just continually, and I became like, Sabu is one of those that jumped off the page to me immediately, and like what he meant for like wrestling, for just being innovative with just being straight up innovative in the ring, and like being a great wrestler outside of hardcore wrestling. Just a crazy athletic, and like doing spots that you would never even think of doing. And like
the irony, dude, like 2 days ago, one of the clip accounts out there on X was posting about him doing the leg drop from the top rope to John Cena, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just blood, guts, and gore, though there was certainly a lot of that.
Yeah, but, and like it's the insane timing is like, this week is the episode where he features heavily in of the Dark Side of the Ring about the original Sheik.
Yeah,
like is airing this. It's just like the insane, sad timing of it all. Like he was definitely a wrestler that influenced so many wrestlers going forward, and like was one of the like also like wrestled in every single promotion. Like
yeah,
like it's if you list all the promotions on Twitter, you would run out of your character limit.
Yeah,
like that he worked in. Like he worked everywhere, and like from like the definitely somebody who, when you think of ECW, is one of the first people you think of. 100 like his his rivalry with Taz was like that of legend, like something wrestling fans will be talking about forever. Like he has like such a rich history in professional wrestling. Like it's definitely a sad loss, and like 60 is still so very young. And like it just like really came out of nowhere. Like just like a few hours ago too, the news just dropped. So like people are still gathering what happened and stuff. So people don't know. Just like our hearts go out to to his family and everything, because like it is very hard to lose somebody like that's that young, still that young.
Absolutely, and like you said, Lawrence, all the best to the friends and family. This is going to be a tough one for the wrestling community. I think the word legend, the word icon gets thrown around a lot. And there are a lot of legends in this industry, don't get me wrong, but Sabu certainly fits the billing. To be honest with you, Ophelia, I'm going to be delaying my run here a little bit to go and check that out. If Taz is already making a statement, and I'm sure there are going to be many more that sort of tug on the heartstrings over the next couple of days. But yeah, just a tough one. So go and watch a match back. If you got the opportunity today, I can at least tell you I will probably not be watching the Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho where he's in his corner. Like you said, it's just, half joking there, but like it's he worked everywhere. Sabu is all elite.
Yeah, that is a true fact.
100%. Shout out to one of the, again, never had the opportunity myself. Tight spot. I saw your story in there, but just a little bit of a tough one today on the wrestling community. But anywho, Lawrence, let's close her out here, my man. I am going to go and see my mother after I go for a run, and I'm gonna have myself a nice little Sunday, as Will Ferrell once said. So where can the people find you? How can the people find you? When can the people find you here on Love Wrestling?
Yep, you can follow me at CartsyNDG on all the socials, and you can catch me here on the Brunch Gimmick. I'm off next week. So it is Porch Fest weekend, Pootsa Fest weekend next weekend. So I will be out and about touching grass.
What?
Yep.
I don't think you're allowed to do that. Friends, I'm going to open this one up by saying thank you. If you guys are here tuned in on YouTube, please throw us a like. Please throw us a subscription if you haven't yet. Like I said, we've got a lot of great content coming out over the next couple of weeks. We've got some great professional wrestling matches, including again, I finally got the stuff edited from Calgary on my end of things. So those are going to be coming here. So if you're on youtube.com/lovewrestlingca, subscription goes the world. If you want to throw us a like, throw in one of those like trending topics in the comment section. Bump us up on that there old algorithm. It always means a lot. But wherever you chose to tune in, thank you to all of you who did on Twitch. Thank you to you on the X machine, the Twitter machine, the everything machine for being here. If you want to follow me, I'm dipping my toes a little bit back in the water here. So follow me at Spenny Love on X, Blue Sky, all that sort of good stuff. But if you guys are in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, make sure you pick up your tickets on Tixr, TIXR.com/Love Wrestling. Our main event for next match, T.Y. Jackson and Reed Matthews. See, these guys have gone back and forth a little bit. Old habits die hard. T.Y. Jackson and Reed Matthews teaming up to face off with the Clandestine Societies, Stephen Crow and Michael Richard Blaze. We've also got Deanna Purrazzo taking on Taryn from Accounting at that show. We've also got Para Lira, Jacked and Juicy Tag Team Championships on the line against White Shirt William Taylor and Nasty Nate Nixon. And hey, if you want to tune into some wrestling today, that rhymed unintentionally, head over to IWTV because, like I said, we've got the full event from Calgary, LPW Press Start live from the Deerfoot Casino. It's uploaded. It's there in full. Check out our debut in YYC. It is the first time we were there, but certainly not the last. But last but not least, see, I was trying not to say the same words. I've done that enough with the word championship today. But last but not least, friends, thank you guys for tuning in. It is always appreciated, whether you tuned in live, whether you tuned in later on in the day. It's appreciated that you take the time for us when there is so much great wrestling content out there. Lawrence, thank you for joining me, friend. It's always nice to hang out. I appreciate it. I'm going to try this outro button. So I'm going to see if this works. If I screw it up, then you're pressing the buttons here next week, okay?
Yep.
All right, you guys, if I screw this up, I'm sorry. But if I don't, well, even if I do, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. See you next week on the Brunch Gimmick, friends. Same bad time, same bad channel.